What's the hardest part about buying a home? I would argue, getting your hands on that elusive down payment. I mean, really, they make it sound so easy. Oh, just, tuck this such and such amount away each month to put toward a down payment. Budget out that coffee you get every morning, as if that's the problem, right? Let's just ignore the fact that your rent takes up, 60% of your monthly income. You could totally save thousands of dollars. Easy as pie. In truth, that down payment can be near impossible to achieve, especially in large amounts. That said, as a first-time buyer, have you been wondering if there's help available? If so, you're in luck. First-time buyers have various programs available to help them secure that down payment. While you still have to do some of the legwork yourself, there are some services available that can make that just a little bit easier, and a little bit can go a long way. Let's get started. Firstly, let's define the rules of your down payment. Just get it out of the way. Simply put, it's not as easy as just saying 5% down payment is the minimum requirement in BC. If you look a little closer, it's more complicated than that. To state it in more detail, your down payment is required to be 5% on the first $500,000. If the home you're looking at is pricier than that, then you also must come up with 10% of the remainder, and be careful. If that property is 1 cent over $1 million, it's an automatic 20% down on the whole thing. Now, onto the meat of the discussion. I'll make it as black and white as I can, so when you go and talk to your mortgage broker, you know exactly what programs to ask about. And this will be a bit dry. I'm sorry about that. I can only spice up numbers, talk so much. But hey, if numbers are your thing, this might be right up your alley. Who knows? The first program I want to discuss is the Home Buyers Plan. It's one of the simpler ones, fairly straightforward. So if you aren't a numbers person, no worries. This one won't make your head hurt too much. The Home Buyers Plan allows first-time home buyers to withdraw up to $35,000 from their Registered Retirement Savings Plan, RRSP, tax-free to put toward their down payment. To be eligible, you must not have owned a home in the last 4 years, and the home you're buying must be your primary residence. You can also combine your efforts here with your spouse, if you have one, for a combined RRSP contribution of $70,000. You'll have up to 15 years to repay the amount borrowed from your RRSP, or it will become taxable income. Now, you also have another option here. It is a new program as of this April called the First Time Buyers Savings Account. Through this account, you are allowed to save up to $8,000 a year for 5 years for up to $40,000 in total to put toward a down payment. This money is entirely tax-free and does not have to be repaid. Essentially, this is similar in structure to a tax-free savings account. Now, while you cannot use this program in conjunction with the RRSP program, you can, however, transfer $40,000 from your RRSP into this first-time homebuyers account. But approach this with caution. Since this program is so new, there is still a lot of gray area. My recommendation would be to speak to your financial advisor or broker before approaching this program to make sure you don't accidentally trigger any loopholes that may be wide open now, but may be closed in the future and requiring you to pay back money where you weren't really expecting it. Another program of interest is the First-Time Homebuyers Program. This program either fully or partially exempts first-time homebuyers from paying the property transfer tax, which can be a significant expense. To be eligible, you must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, have lived in BC for at least 1 year prior to the purchase, and have never owned a home anywhere in the world. Property land transfer tax on properties less than $500,000 will be exempt from the property transfer tax. Properties that are $500,000 to $525,000 fall on a sliding scale where you may have to pay some, and then properties even 1 penny over $525,000, you will have to pay the full property transfer tax amount. For this program, you can also note that the same rules apply to new construction, except that the purchase amount is $750,000 rather than $500,000, where you would fall under exemption. And lastly, if you're using a cosigner who is not a first-time buyer, don't fret. This can still apply. You simply need to have the first-time buyer registered as 99% owner on title and the cosigner at 1%. You are then exempt from 99% of the property transfer tax. Third in line is the first-time homebuyers tax credit. This is designed for first-time homebuyers to help cover closing costs like legal expenses, inspections, and property transfer taxes. The tax credit used to be you could claim $5,000, which would net a $750 tax credit, and now they have doubled it to $10,000, which would net a $1,500 tax credit. You would claim this on your tax return just like any other tax credit, and it reduces taxes paid. Done and done. The fourth program we'll discuss is the most complicated one, in my opinion, the BC Home Partnership Program, or the First-Time Homebuyers Incentive Program. This program has the Government of Canada come in and match up to 10% of your down payment on a new construction home or 5% of a resale home. This provides first-time homebuyers with a loan that is interest-free and payment-free for the first 5 years. The loan is repayable over 25 years or when the home is sold, whichever comes first. To be eligible, you must be a first-time homebuyer, have a household income of $120,000 or less, or if you're in Vancouver, a household income of $150,000 or less. The entire loan is capped at 4 times the household income. You have to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or have a work visa, and you have to have a minimum of 5 or 10% down payment available on your own, depending on whether it's new construction or old build. And finally, you have to be pre-approved for a mortgage. This is a shared equity mortgage program. If the home increases in value, the CMHC will also share in the equity position. Depending on your position, this program is a very useful one, but it does have some drawbacks. So make sure you take that into consideration. Now that you have a good idea of some programs available to help get you into the housing market in the first place as a brand new buyer, check out my other video on these first-time homebuyer mistakes and how you can avoid them. The more prepared you are as a first-time buyer, the smoother your experience will be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye!